Hi, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started in just a couple minutes so that everyone can get a chance to make it on. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hi, my name is Alex. I'm the Vice President of Recruitment for the Panhellenic Council. We're so thrilled that you're joining us tonight for the Panhellenic Council's live Q&A session. Right now, my primary job as Vice President of Recruitment is planning the Fall Formal Recruitment process. In this live Q&A, Olivia and I will provide clarity and updates about Fall Formal Recruitment. We will cover frequently asked questions, and we will answer your specific questions. So I'll turn it over to Olivia now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Olivia Ditmore, and I am the Assistant Vice President of Recruitment. My primary responsibility is training recruitment counselors to help support women going through our formal recruitment process. Some other updates we'll cover tonight include how we are responding to the COVID-19 global pandemic and how it has impacted our process. For more information about our remote operations and how community operations have been impacted, please visit our website at oregonstate.edu/CFSL.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kelsey Elam Guiding, and I serve as the coordinator for fraternity and sorority life here at Oregon State, and I also serve as the advisor for the Panhellenic Council. I'm one of 3 full-time staff that work in the Center for Fraternity and Sorority Life, supporting our vibrant community. The other 2 staff members are here, so I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves before we get started. They'll be helping me potentially answer questions throughout the presentation and monitor the chat.
Thanks, Kelsey. I'm Leslie Schott-Dray. I'm the Associate Dean of Students and Director of the Center for Fraternity and Sorority Life. We are so delighted that you've joined for this Q&A session, and I'll turn it over to JP to introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. JP Peters. I'm the Associate Director of the office, and I'm excited that everyone is here. And again, we're great resources for any of you. Glad to see everyone.
Thanks so much. So I'm going to turn it back over to Alex to get us started tonight. But we're really excited to have you all here throughout the presentation. Feel free to use the Q&A feature to type in your questions, and we will respond to those at the end of the presentation. But if you're having trouble hearing us or anything, feel free to type that into the chat, so then that way I can try to troubleshoot that with you. Thanks so much for being here, y'all.
To begin, I'll provide a brief overview of the Panhellenic Council, as well as the fraternity and sorority community. The Panhellenic Council, or PHC, is the governing body for the traditionally housed sororities at Oregon State. We have 11 chapters that range in size from around 110 members to 130 members. Each chapter is housed, and a portion of our membership resides in a facility that is located just off campus. Each chapter has a live-in house director that we often refer to as a house mom. All facilities are going to be open this fall term, but many will have limited capacity, operations, and access due to the pandemic response. PHC is one of our 4 governing councils or communities within the fraternity and sorority life that has sorority chapters. If you don't find what you're looking for in a Panhellenic sorority, or if our process doesn't sound like the right fit for you, I urge you to consider checking out one of the other sorority processes, because we really do believe there is a place to belong for all students in our community. I'll highlight each of these councils. The Multicultural Greek Council, or MGC, is our culturally and multiculturally based sororities with 2 Latinx sororities and 1 Native American interest sorority. National Panhellenic Council, or NPHC, also known as the Divine Nine, or D9, includes historically African American sororities and currently has 1 active chapter on our campus, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And the Collective Greek Council, or CGC, are academic interest sororities that have close affiliation with academic colleges or individual majors. We have 4 sororities in this council, each with an academic focus. We have an agriculturally focused sorority, a science interest sorority, engineering focused sorority, and a design interest sorority. If you'd like to learn more about these councils, please check out our website, oregonstate.edu/CFSL, or for more information, and I urge you to check out their Q&A sessions as well. Now I'll turn it back to Olivia so we can cover details regarding the Panhellenic Council's recruitment process.
Awesome, thanks, Alex. Panhellenic's primary recruitment, also known as formal recruitment, takes place the 2nd week of the fall term. Events begin October 1st and end October 5th. Each round of recruitment involves learning more about each individual chapter, their academic requirements, financial information, leadership opportunities, chapter house amenities, philanthropies, and sisterhood. Panhellenic sororities utilize what we call a mutual selection process, which means as you go through each round of recruitment, you will narrow down your choices of chapters, and chapters will do the same with the number of invitations they extend for the next round. Fall is the only time all 11 Panhellenic chapters are able to accept new members, so this year is your best chance to find the sorority that is the best fit for you.
We are so excited to be able to deliver the recruitment experience virtually this year. Some components of recruitment may be available for in-person participation. Any and all in-person events will follow the guidance of the Oregon Health Authority, the Benton County Health Department, and the university. Safety precautions will be in place, such as required face coverings for all participants for in-person recruitment events, as well as social distancing measures. Our number 1 priority for planning recruitment is safety, so some aspects of in-person events may be subject to change. If we are unable to offer an in-person event, don't worry, we have a plan in case recruitment must be completely virtual. Now, let's share some details on what the recruitment schedule will look like this year. Remember, registration closes on September 28th at noon, so be sure you're signed up before then. And registration prices go up on September 1st, so it's great to register now for the lower rate. You want to be sure to populate as much information as possible on your registration form so our chapters can get to know you. We will also provide the chance for you to upload a 30-second to 1-minute video introducing yourself to our chapters, which is a great chance for you to share more information about yourself in real time. After registration closes, we have Pnm Orientation on September 29th. PNMs, you, will attend our orientation this year as a webinar. During this session, we will give you all the information you need to know about recruitment, including what to expect for each day of the process and how to submit your preferences each day. Following this webinar, PNMs will meet virtually with their recruitment counselor groups. We want to be sure that you are supported throughout the recruitment process, so you'll be assigned a Gamma Chi or recruitment counselor that will be your point of contact during recruitment. During this first meeting with your group, this is an opportunity for you to meet some other women going through recruitment and have your questions answered by a current Panhellenic member who has disaffiliated from her chapter to help you find your home.
Okay, now we're going to get into each round. Round 1 will be hosted on the evening of Thursday, October 1st. During this round, PNMs will watch introductory videos from each chapter about their house, chapter amenities, financial information, and academic requirements, either with their recruitment counselor groups or on their own. For round 2, on the evening of Friday, October 2nd, PNMs will watch videos about each chapter's philanthropy, which is a charity or cause that they support through fundraising and direct service. And we'll get to speak with chapter members in small groups via Zoom. Round 3 will take place on Saturday, October 3rd. In this round, chapters will share a video explaining what sisterhood looks like in their chapter, and PNMs will get to learn about the membership experience. After watching this video, PNMs will get to talk one-on-one to a member of the chapter via Zoom.
For our final round of recruitment preference, we are working to offer an in-person preference night ceremony. Currently, we're working to reserve spaces on campus large enough for social distancing measures to be followed during events. During preference night, PNMs will get to talk one-on-one with members of the chapter and understand further about the chapter's ritual and special membership bonds. Finally, the culmination of the recruitment experience, bid day. Bid day takes place after recruitment rounds are complete on Monday, October 5th. Bid day is a celebration for new members as they join the chapter they received a bid from. Current chapter members will come welcome new members to their chapter, and new members can start to get to know their new sisters. Once you open your bid card with your recruitment counselor groups, you will either be greeted in person by members of your new chapter or attend a chapter celebration via Zoom. This is an exciting day for the community, and our members are so excited to welcome home their new members.
Now that we've covered some background on Panhellenic and given an overview of the process, we are going to answer some commonly asked questions from families and students before we open it up for Q&A. The first question is, are letters of recommendation required? Letters of recommendation are not required to participate in our process. However, if you would like someone to submit a letter of recommendation on your behalf, please visit the CFSL website and navigate to our chapter profiles to find contact information for all of our chapters. Keep in mind that letters of recommendation are generally submitted directly by the alumni who is providing the letter through their national website. The next question is living in the house required? Each of our Panhellenic chapters are housed and have their own live-in requirements, which is either 1 or 2 years. Living in a chapter house is an important and fun part of membership. Chapter members typically live in the chapter house their second year in the sorority and live in residence halls on campus or off campus their first year in the sorority. So I was just living in my chapter house this year, and it was an incredible experience. What is a PNM and what is a Gamma Chi? We use the term PNM, which is you guys, to refer to prospective new members or women who register to participate in the recruitment process. Gamma Chi is what we call our recruitment counselors. These women are commonly members who have disaffiliated from their own chapters to help support PNMs during fall formal recruitment. The goal of disaffiliation is to provide PNMs with unbiased advice and guidance.
So the next frequently asked question that we get quite a bit is, how much does it cost to join a sorority? So the cost to register for our recruitment process this fall is $50, and then September 1st, the price increases. So the cost for first year of membership is around $1,200 to around $2,000. If you want to find more detailed financial information for our Panhellenic chapters, you can visit our website, which will be linked at the end of the slideshow. I'm an eCampus student. Can I go through recruitment? Yes and no. If you're an eCampus student, but you're regularly going to be either an eCampus student or an in-person student, located in the Corvallis area, then you should definitely go through recruitment. If you're not going to be based in Corvallis, joining a Panhellenic chapter would be pretty difficult because all of our Panhellenic chapters have live-in requirements and they have participation that's required of members to be in the area. So the Panhellenic experience isn't really set up to be a virtual experience. But we are offering virtual recruitment this year because of the COVID-19 response. So what is the time commitment for chapter members? You can expect on average a couple hours a week. 1 or 2 hours a week is spent at your weekly chapter meetings. You'll also have new member meetings that'll be around an hour. You can also expect some other time put into things like study tables or study hours, hours of service to the philanthropy that your chapter supports, or sisterhoods, stuff like that. So you can also choose to get more involved. You can take on a leadership position, and that would mean a bigger time commitment. But regular members can expect on average like 3 to 5 hours of time commitment a week.
Now that we've gone through some FAQs, we want to take some time to answer your questions you asked during our presentation.
All right. Thanks so much. So we have one question in the queue right now asking if this is going to be recorded and put online, and I can quickly answer that yes. So this will is currently being recorded, and we're going to post that on the CFSL and Panhellenic website probably sometime tomorrow. So you can be on the lookout for that if there were slides that you didn't catch information on. But are there any other questions? Feel free to type them into the Q&A. We'll sit here waiting for some. Alex or Olivia, are there any other sort of frequently asked questions you normally get that you might want to share something?
What is it like to live in a sorority house is a question that I am asked frequently. It's really fun. It takes some management on your part to manage your time and figure out a routine that works for you, because you're not living in a house with like 4 other people, you're living in a house with more people than that. So I would say it's a really fun and enjoyable experience though. So I definitely recommend it if you're considering a housed experience for your sorority experience.
Yeah, I can agree to that too. It was definitely intimidating when I first went through recruitment, because I was like living in a house with 40 to 60 girls. Sounds kind of crazy, but like I said, I just finished my live-in session, and it was awesome. And you are just basically living with your best friends, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, thank you. So we have a question, Alex, if you want to take this one, of where do you send letters of recommendation? So if you could go over where to find that information.
Yeah, so for letters of recommendation, you can actually find the contact info under our chapter profiles. So let's say you wanted to, for example, submit a recommendation letter for Kappa Alpha Theta, or someone wanted to submit one on your behalf. You can click on Kappa Alpha Theta's profile on our website, and there will be a contact for for letters of recommendation, where to send those. They can also be submitted through the National Sororities website. So either on our website or on our national's website, or on your national website.
And submitting letters of recommendation is usually on the alumni that is writing that letter for you. So they're normally going to their national organization's website and through a member portal and filling that out for a woman they know who's going through recruitment. If you need to send a physical copy, then you'll go to the CFSL website, like Alex mentioned, to find that location. All right. Olivia, can you share if there's any requirements we need to bring for recruitment week? So sort of what should PNMs have ready to have a great recruitment week experience?
Yeah. So like Kelsey and Alex, or mostly Alex, were talking about before, you guys will have PNM videos this year that we'll be putting out. In terms of like, I know some people always get stressed about what they're supposed to wear, but obviously if we're virtual, you only have to be dressed from the waist up, and so that's perfect. But yeah, I think just bringing a good attitude and being excited to go through the process. It's nerve-wracking. It was definitely for me, but I think if you just keep an open mind and come into it excited to meet people and get to know people, regardless of whether you join a chapter or not, it's an incredible experience.
Thank you. And can you share a little bit about what recruitment counselors will be doing over these next couple months to help them prepare for recruitment?
Yeah, so this summer we created a new project for some of our recruitment counselors. So earlier this summer, we had a calling project that was run by the CFSL that all recruitment counselors participated in, as well as exec members from all the councils. So you should have gotten some sort of contact from a member of the Panhellenic or CFSL community. But as well, we have a smaller group of Gammakais this year reaching out to PNMs specifically, registered PNMs, which is really exciting. It's something new that we're doing this year, and me and Alex are also participating in it. But so within the next couple weeks, you should be hearing from a recruitment counselor, and they are going to assist you in improving and kind of just beefing up your PNM profiles that you filled out when you registered. And this will help you with your video, and this will help chapter members get to know you and get to know what you have accomplished or what things you did in high school, everything like that. And this will be really helpful for chapter members to get to know you in a different setting than what recruitment usually looks like.
Great, thank you so much. Alex, I have a question here sort of along the lines of eCampus. So for eCampus students that will be fully remote, and by fully remote, I'm going to interpret this as that they don't have plans to come to campus or to live in the Corvallis local area during their time as an undergraduate. Is continuous open bidding still an option for recruitment, or should we go through fall formal and see what happens?
For fully remote students, it's difficult. I mean, you can try to go through continuous open bidding if you're fully remote. The problem is our organizations aren't really set up for virtual membership. There are actually a lot of things that are based on in-person participation. So we've adjusted for this fall formal recruitment, and we've adjusted for the experience as we respond to COVID. But the problem is for long-term membership, it's more set up for in-person participation rather than virtual participation.
Yep, and along those lines, we have another eCampus question. So just to continue that train of thought, Alex, is it up to the chapter to decide whether or not they want to recruit a full-time eCampus student? So I will just say the requirement to participate in Panhellenic Fall Formal Recruitment is that you're a matriculated Oregon State student. So eCampus counts for that. But Alex, if you could speak to that chapter, if it's up to them, if they want to recruit an eCampus student, and what that membership experience would look like.
So each chapter actually has their own kind of policy about membership guidelines and eligibility of women that they extend bids to. So it's up to the individual chapter and what their policies are about eCampus students. But as Kelsey had said, if you're registered for at least one credit with Oregon State University, you're eligible to participate in our process. We do have chapters that are learning to do things virtually. We had a chapter this previous spring who initiated someone virtually, which was really cool. Yeah, and if you want to expand a little bit more on that, Kelsey, that would be great.
Yeah, happy to help. So like Alex said, our chapters are really built around an in-person experience of having to attend chapter in person and other sort of events that is expected of membership are usually expected to be in person. COVID has turned the world upside down, and a lot of our chapters adjusted really well to still providing a virtual member experience, but they knew that that was going to be a short-term solution because fingers crossed, we will be able to go back to normal operations sometime in the future. So a chapter could decide to open up membership to a completely online student, but that would be up to the chapter. So you could go through fall formal recruitment, but that might be challenging because fall formal recruitment doesn't really provide the opportunity to sort of talk about, I'm going to be completely online. What will that membership experience look like? And have those deep conversations about how membership could be provided online. So continuous open bidding might be a better option because you can have those conversations with the chapter in a little bit more depth. But we're happy to talk with you further sort of about your particular situation if you want to come to virtual office hours, which we'll share some information about at the end of the presentation, or you can contact the CFSL at our email and our staff can chat with you about what that looks like, because we're going down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, and we have some other questions I want to answer. But the basic answer is our chapters are set up for an in-person experience on the whole. So Olivia, can you share if not having letters of recommendation would impact a PNM's experience going through fall formal recruitment negatively?
Yes, it will not impact, that was confusing. It will not impact your membership possibility. I did not have a letter of recommendation when I went through. I don't know if Alex, if you did, but it didn't really affect, if anything, it could only affect it positively. But yeah, I had the opportunity to get a letter of recommendation, and I just didn't take that because I knew other people that hadn't. And it didn't make a difference in my recruitment eligibility or like possibility of getting into a chapter. So if you have one, great, but it's definitely not a requirement.
I would say a majority of people going through recruitment don't have letters of recommendation. So totally normal not to have them. Alex, could you quickly go over the dates for each round of recruitment again?
Yes, absolutely. So Pnm Orientation, which is going to be via webinar this year, is actually going to be Tuesday, September 29th. And again, there's going to be a recording of that if for whatever reason you can't make that time. And then rounds start. So round 1 is going to be October 1st, and that's a Thursday. Round 2 is Friday, October 2nd. Round 3 is Saturday, October 3rd. Round 4 is Sunday, October 4th. And then bid day will be Monday, October 5th.
Thank you. Bouncing back over to Olivia. I'm going to be doing a double major, and one of my majors is civil engineering. So I know that's going to take a lot of time. Would I realistically have time to be in a sorority?
That is a good question. Well, I mean, I can say our Panhellenic president is also an engineering major, and she is very involved, probably more so than most general members. So yeah, I think, it's going to be, being a sorority is definitely a balancing act, but I think there's plenty of engineering majors and other majors that are very difficult, and people that have to kind of balance their time. And so I think it's definitely a strong possibility that you would make it work.
Yep, and I think that's also a conversation to ask during recruitment is how do you support your members academically? What resources are there? And asking the member that you're talking to in recruitment of how they balance schoolwork and their expectations as a member is always a great question to ask. So good one, thank you. Let's see here. Alex, can you share any tips of how a PNM could make themselves stand out in their videos, or just tips for the PNM video that they're going to be creating to share with the chapters? And remember, it's only 30 to 60 seconds, very quick clip.
Yes, I would say focus less on your introductory video. The introductory video is great, and it allows chapters to see you face to face, but I would focus a lot more on your PNM profile on Campus Director. So that's where you filled out all that information about yourself. We asked you a couple questions to try and get to know you a little bit better beyond where are you from, what is your major, stuff like that. So really, really answer fully those questions and think about your values, think about your passions, think about all of those things, because our chapters want to know those things about you when they're recruiting you. So the more that you have for them available, the better off I think you'll be. So just making sure that your profile as well as your video are just are packed full of information. Obviously not in the video, it's like 30 seconds, but just answer the prompt, that's good. And then make sure all of your information's on Campus Director.
Yep, and I'll just add, be genuine, be yourself. The chapters are trying to figure out who you are, and so just be yourself and answer those prompts truthfully and genuinely, and that will serve you well. Bouncing back over to Olivia, is there a summer recruitment process before fall?
There is not a summer recruitment process before fall. Fall formal recruitment is our like we said, our main recruitment process, and then there's continuous open bidding, which was mentioned a few times before, which happens throughout the rest of the school year, but during the summer there is no recruitment process. Summer is all about preparing for fall and getting, this summer specifically, we're getting all your profiles as Alex said, as information heavy as possible, and then creating your Pnm videos this year, which is not something that normally happens, but something that I think is going to be really great for this recruitment season.
Yeah, and just to note, the Interfraternity Council, so the traditionally housed fraternities on campus, they do hold a summer recruitment process. So that's maybe where you have heard of summer recruitment, but Panhellenic does not do a summer recruitment process. Good question. Alex, so are you going to be able to meet with any of the members of the sorority one-on-one during recruitment? And then will we be talking one-on-one with members of each chapter each day, or will it be group Zoom calls? So sort of what will those Zoom recruitment rounds look like?
Yes, so for the first round of recruitment, you're watching videos that the chapters are providing, and then they're looking at your campus director profile and your Pnm videos. So there's no interaction that first round, but round 2, you'll actually get to have small group conversations in Zoom. So that'll be you and maybe 1 or 2 other potential or prospective new members, and then 1 or 2 chapter members. And then the rounds after that, you'll actually get to talk one-on-one with a chapter member. So again, that's round 3, 4, and then bid days on Monday. So.
Thank you so much. And then the last couple of questions I have here are related to COVID. So I'm not going to throw that to our Panhellenic officers. I'll go ahead and take that as the staff member for them. So there's a question of, due to COVID-19, will there be exceptions to the live-in requirements for Panhellenic chapters? That is up to the Panhellenic chapter and their House Corporation Board, which is the group of alumni who own the physical chapter structure. So Oregon State does not own the chapter facilities. They are privately owned by alumni, and they make their own determinations with chapter leadership and with their national organization on what the live-in requirement is going to be. And they've been working closely with their national organizations to make determinations about how to adapt with COVID. So I know that all of our chapters have plans to have members living in this fall. Some of them do have a reduced capacity, so not as many members as would previously be living in. But that is up to the organizations, but I would expect that they would all still keep a live-in requirement, but the amount of people may differ until there is a vaccine or something that makes COVID-19 just not as large of a threat with density of people living in the same space. But that's a good question to ask during recruitment because it's going to be up to each individual organization. There's not a blanket decision across the community. But I will just say our House Corporation boards are working very closely with our county health department and with the local fire department to make sure that they're following guidelines that keep members who are living in safe. And they've been doing a lot of great work and even some updates to the facilities to make sure that that happens. And then how will events in the chapter houses work with COVID-19? And this is sort of after the recruitment experience. So like Alex and Olivia have mentioned, all of recruitment will be either online or on campus. So nothing will be taking place in the facilities as we would normally have happen during fall, but sort of after the fall recruitment process, once you've joined a chapter, what will that look like? Once again, that's going to be up to the HCBs to determine if it's just live-in members who are allowed to be in the facility to reduce the amount of traffic coming in and out of the chapter house, or if non-live-in members, so those would be new members and older members, if they're allowed to come by. But I would assume that a lot of events would be taking place on campus this upcoming fall or in much smaller groups. And I know a lot of chapter events, like chapter meetings and things, will be taking place virtually on Zoom because we can't have 100+ people gathering in one place. So this fall might look a little different, of maybe not going to the chapter facility as often, but hopefully as we move forward, that won't be a concern anymore, and you'll be able to fully enjoy that housed chapter experience. And we, as part of recruitment, there will be house tours. They're going to be filming house tour videos, so you'll be able to see the inside of the facilities and get a feel for what they look like and what living in would be. Great. And then how will live on work with COVID if we choose to live in a sorority house spring term? What will the sanitation look like? So this is talking a little bit about if the possibility of maybe moving into the chapter facility during your first year at Oregon State. So that is a program that we have here at Oregon State called the Affiliated Housing Program that allows first year students to get an exemption from the live on requirement to live on campus and move into their fraternity or sorority house. But that is only a few chapters, and they're actually going through the application process for this next year. So we don't know which chapters that will be. So it depends on which chapter you join, if you could move in spring term A. And then if you do move in at any point in time during your membership experience, where COVID is still a concern. I know that all of the chapter facilities are working really hard to increase the amount of cleaning that happens in the facility. And then with offering meals, it's all going to be to go or box. It won't be sort of salad bars and open food serving areas. It's going to be much more condensed and probably staggered meal times so that there's not a density of people going down to the kitchen at once. So that is the brief answer I can give you, but that will look a little different for each chapter as well, and just sort of the precautions they're taking. But like I said earlier, they're all working with the Benton County Health Department to follow the guidelines that they recommend. And then I got a couple of additional questions while I was talking about COVID that Alex and Olivia can answer. So they said, where will we be posting our PNM video and profile? So Alex, if you could talk about the registration process and how you can change those answers on your profile, and then how you'll be posting your PNM video. And these are all information that once you start the registration process, you'll begin.
Yeah, so for putting information or changing information on your PNM profile on Campus Structure, all you need to do is log into your account and you can update any of those answers. You actually won't be uploading your own videos. I will be uploading your videos for you. So you're actually going to submit them to a box folder of mine, and that's where all of your videos are going to be stored. And then I will be uploading them to your Campus Structure profiles for you. So once you register, you'll get instructions on how to upload those videos. So once you register, you'll get those.
Yes, and Leslie is sharing lots of links in the chat, so be sure to check those out. There's a link when you log in to make edits to your profile if you've already registered. So once you fill out that form, you can go back and make edits, and that's what Olivia was talking about earlier with the recruitment counselors contacting you to review your profile and make sure it's really up to date. And then also, I just wanted to clarify, I used a lot of acronyms when I was talking before, so I just want to make sure that everyone is in the loop. When I said HCB, that's the House Corporation Board, so that's the group of alumni who manage and own the chapter facility on behalf of the organization. So it's a group of alumni of that organization who help manage. So that, just wanted to clarify that for you all. I don't see any other questions in the chat, so we'll give you one last chance. Get a question in there before we move on and wrap up today. Great, those are awesome questions, everyone. Thank you so much for asking, and I'll turn it back over to Alex to wrap us up.
All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us. We may not have answered all of your questions, so if you have more, come by our virtual office hours. We have them every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of summer. And our contact info is also here, so I'll pause for a moment if you need to record that. But please reach out to us again if you have any questions or you just want to talk about the Panhellenic experience. We're always here and we're always eager to help. So stay updated on all things Panhellenic by following our Instagram account at OSU Panhellenic. Other than that, have a great rest of your night. Thank you again for joining us. And go Beavs, go Greek.